All right.
What's up, everybody?
What up, guys? Man, we are close to the NFL draft. We are close to the NFL draft. Cannot wait.
It's about that time, boys. It's about that time. It's going to be exciting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looks like we do got a special guest with us today. So we're going to have a good time with it. So let's just bring him in right now. Actually, you know what? He's in here. So,
hey.
Yo. What's up, NFL Mike?
Long time no see.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Dude, NFL Mike. What's up, brother from another mother? Here you are. Let's go.
The setup look nice, man. I want to freaking get some more Charger stuff back here.
Yeah.
we were just joking, NFL Mike. You look a lot like our cousin Byron. We were like, oh my God, that's our cousin Byron. What's up? So
you can just call me Byron if you want. I don't care.
Oh, there you go. B money.
Byron, right now. Sup, baby? Take me out today. Hey, yo.
I like that. Well, we got a lot to discuss this week, though. And by the way, NFL Mike, thank you so much for jumping on, man. For real, dude. You know,
no doubt.
And so could you tell everybody where to see you? You know, I know you're on the Tiki Takis, you're on everything like that. You know, so where can everybody find you?
They call me King Tiki Taki. Yeah, you can find me at NFL Mike on all platforms. The biggest thing I'm trying to do right now is get my YouTube going. I've been making long form content now for like 2 months. So still getting into like the long form. So I mean, I've been on podcasts, done podcast stuff before, but actually my own YouTube channel. It's also NFL Mike. So easy to find. Everything's NFL Mike across the platforms.
I love it. And you cover all NFL too, right? But you're obviously a Charger fan. Okay.
Cool. So right before I jumped in here, I was working on a video where I was comparing Marvin Harrison Sr.'s college career to Marvin Harrison Jr.'s college career. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to make videos about like all the teams and not just the Chargers.
I love it, dude. Good call.
Awesome.
Well, we got a lot to discuss this week. I don't know. We got a new word that the Harbaughs are trying to get rid of here, and it's called chargering. So I love how we are changing the narrative of this team. We all know what chargering is, right, folks? And Jim Harbaugh's trying to change this. Kyle, did they hand this out to you when you were at the Charger building at all?
Yeah, no, I didn't get this book at all. No. Okay. Yes, that's all good. I think they want to burn that phrase though still. Yeah,
I think so. I think so.
When Joe Ortiz did get hired, I remember they brought up the whole idea of charging, and you know anything about it? And he's like, yeah, of course we know about it, but at the same side, we don't sit there and focus on it. But change the narrative, change the mindset of what it means. Let's just run up that scoreboard. Let's go.
Let's go.
We're gonna be dominant. Yep.
Yeah. This gives us some freaking hope for change of all things, man. This reminds me of a couple years ago. I convinced my buddy who was a diehard Packers fan growing up, but he despised Aaron Rodgers. So he left the Packers fan base and wasn't a fan of any team for like 20 years. I convinced him because of Herbert to come over and become a Chargers fan. Now he's a diehard Chargers fan, just like me.
Hell yeah.
I kept telling him about this chargering thing, right? And I kept warning him like this stuff's going to happen. Now this is before week 18. This is before the 27-0. This is before all that happened, before the entire Brandon Staley coaching staff. Like when Brandon Staley got hired, my buddy had probably been a Charger fan for 2 years already at that point. And he got to experience that a little bit. But even through all that, he was like, no, we're not doing this. We are not going to feed this monster and this stereotype or it's going to keep happening. So like he's been wanting this for so long to stop the chargering and to flip that narrative.
I love it. It needs to happen,
we
guys.
All do.
It was a mental mindset, unfortunately, just did not work out. But then you got Kyle here at Charger Stadium. So we got a lot to cover, guys. So it's going to be exciting. So let's get into it.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Boat Bros podcast. Let's do it!
All right.
Hey, NFL Mike, dude. I'm seeing your shirt there, man. What's up with that shirt, by the way?
Yeah. Oh,
you're looking for him right now. He's on the run. He's hiding.
Oh man,
ruining a.
Oh, and he ran to the Niners, by the way. So that's what's even more wild. Like, holy moly!
It's part of the
Protected
Bang
by
Bang
San
Niner gang.
Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good luck, 49ers.
Yeah. Wish
good
luck.
Enjoy.
Yep.
Enjoy.
Definitely not going anywhere this year. Just
Yeah.
throwing that out
man.
there.
Yeah, and again, NFL Mike, thank you for hopping on. Again, check out NFL Mike for sure. Again, YouTube's, the Tiki Talkies, all the above. So, Kyle, tell us a little bit about your experience out there with the Chargers. By the way, I got a video that the Chargers gave to us. So as Kyle's talking, we'll
Yeah,
play the video. It'll just be looping in the background. We'll talk a little more about the offseason workout program.
For sure.
But tell us about your experience, Kyle. Give us an idea of what it was like. And I know everyone's jealous, so this is your opportunity to brag, dude. This is you in the room, dude. So let's hear it.
This is where contracts are signed, by the way. These
Yeah,
are where
bro,
negotiations at.
Exactly.
Great.
Well, first of all, this is the official Avengers, start there. Like we started like the Chargers Avengers team. This is going on right here. Yep. But this is like contracts were signed. But this is also where I totally thought that lawyers were going to come through the door and just like kind of corner us here, So I was like, all right, well, I guess this is where we all end. This is,
Yeah.
But no. So it was really cool. Like, we all got a random email like at Thursday, the week before this happened, and we just like all showed up and had this crazy opportunity to come tour the facility, kind of get an idea what the press room's like, and kind of like showing us the facility before they moved to the next facility. And, like our connection out there with the Chargers, Jamal is like super awesome about this. We've kind of been talking to him for a while, and he's kind of been wanting to do more with us, like this independent media group for a while, because, everything goes through like the proper channels and stuff. But now he's opening up the door, at least cracking it open for us to kind of get a little bit of an inside look on things. And it was fantastic. We toured the facility, and I wasn't able to actually. I showed up a little bit too late, I guess, because they went out to the field here, which I'm actually still jealous about, because that's like this is like sacred ground, guys.
Yeah, for real.
It's like players and coaches only, basically, out there. I think every once in a while, the social media team gets to go there, but no one else. It's like that's like, oh my gosh, like I would have probably tried to take a scoop of grass, whatever, and it's like put it in a bowl, and just like, all right, this is holy ground right here, But yeah, it's cool. We got to see the weight room. I was hoping that Jamal was going to kind of lead us in a quick little a set, do some burpees or something like that, do some do something in there. That would
be actually pretty funny. Content creators doing the Ben Herbert workout.
Yeah, dude, I would have loved that. I was like, dude,
I would have been so down, dude. I would have been so down, bro. So.
Yep.
It lasts about 15 seconds.
I know, exactly, right?
Same as the bedroom.
But no, but then then we went over to the we saw all the facility, like, and I can actually understand why the players were kind of upset about the headquarters being like, grading it low and stuff, because it was a small space.
Yeah.
Like for like all these are all big boys, too, so but they utilized every inch of that space very well, I felt like, but it's obviously not designed to be a NFL team practice facility at all. It's an office space, guys. So and that's why, but bright futures ahead, because we got the new facility coming up, and hopefully we're going to get invited out to that at some point.
Oh yeah, and we are all going to be there for that one. Oh, for damn sure.
Yeah, for sure.
State of the art facility.
Yeah, and like then we did get to go to like the press room, like I said. It was pretty cool. And we were there, like, a lot of people. We didn't get. They told us initially that we would not be able to ask questions in the press conference. But then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, by the way, go ahead and ask questions now." We're like, So, and some of them asked like really good questions, but honestly, I really just wanted to know what Gus Edwards was looking forward to living out here in LA. I wanted to know a more personal question, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I didn't ask a question, because they were all asking football questions. I was like, well, maybe we can ask that kind of question on our show as opposed to like when everyone else is around,
Well, that's a good
I would
experience.
ask him who's faster, Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert.
Oh boy, there you go. Shots
Yeah.
fired, dude. Shot fired. I love it, man.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Who's got a better arm?
Who's got to put it? Well, it's gonna be Justin Herbert for sure, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about this, and guys, this is footage that specifically was given to us, so I don't know what other podcasters did with it or not. So we're showing you guys. This was given to us directly from them. We clipped it up in the shorts, but the one thing I will say about this is great that the team is working out together. You notice Brandon Staley, he always let people work out on their own. Remember, Bosa was in Florida. Matt kind of did his own thing. No, you are training like a, college football team, and you are doing it together as a group. And I really like that. And I think that develops unity. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on all that too?
I feel like this is probably what the players want, man. It reminds me of an interview that we heard a few years ago from Joey Bosa, where he said that it just doesn't feel like it felt at Ohio State. Yeah, like he craves that feeling. He wants it back, and that's probably why he took such a large pay cut to stay and make this happen versus take a 1-year deal somewhere else and to leave. So it's exciting to see, like, specifically Herbert standing out in these videos. I don't know if he is for you guys too. He looks freaking athletic as hell. Every year he looks more jacked, and you could tell this guy is he's a hard worker, man. And it's cool to see him. It's cool to see him together, like you're saying.
We always call Justin Herbert Swolbert.
Swolbert, dude.
That's right.
Stacked.
That time. This is size time.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, even to say Zion Johnson, I mean, when he came in to phase 1 workouts, I mean, homeboy looks stacked too. Like, it's awesome to see. I think it's just there's such a great change of this culture already in a very short amount of time with this team. Yeah. I think it really started on when Jim Harbaugh had his introduction press conference. He already said, like, this is what we're going to build. We're going to build a physical, fast team. We want to beat people down, basically. And that's what we're going to do.
Kyle's got that beard, dude. I like that.
Yeah.
we got the I'm just highlighting the beard. The beard looking fresh, dude.
Look at that, dude. The one thing I was going to say about
That's pretty bad art. That's pretty bad art.
Yeah. About the Jim Harbaugh press conference, the first thing that he did talk about is that I need to get better for my players.
Yes.
And I need to coach and be better for them. And I think at the same side, that really set for the players too, in their mindset that I need to be better for my coach. Bottom line. So it became a hand-in-hand kind of thing of I need to do more and be more. And Jim Harbaugh's an absolute stud for a motivator all around. It's been awesome to see him change 100%. This culture already.
We also have one of the largest coaching staffs in the league now too, guys. We went from one of the smallest coaching staffs to one of the largest coaching staffs. And
that's cool.
The cool thing about that also is that, people are going to get picked off on this coaching staff. I mean, what if the defense becomes top 5 defense? I promise you, Jesse Minter will be probably looked at as a head coach somewhere else. So, who can step up and go from there? And by the way, you're right. You work as a team. There is no I in team. I agree.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say this though too. So, to kind of add to that whole culture, like changing, kind of making them work as a team more. Like the coolest thing is like in the locker room, they changed it from groups where they would kind of be next to each other. It's just all numerical order, so it's all you're just next to your number neighbor is your neighbor in the locker room too. So like you're not just going to be talking to your other quarterbacks or other running backs or other linebackers, all that stuff. So like you'll be able to talk to each other, like, because you have to interact with the entire team. And remember, like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like Natron Means was talking to us like in our interview where he was saying how like the reason why that team was so successful back in the 90s was they did stuff together all the time.
Right.
And they were like, they loved each other, like, and they had fun with each other, like outside of also working. And so like they were a unit, and that's what they needed to do. And like, and that's a whole thing. And so like, I think that's kind of what Harbaugh is trying to enforce in these people, it's like to stop just living your own lives or whatever like that. Like you guys are all family, your team, do stuff together. I want to see some people going out to the deep sea fishing with Herbert and stuff.
Well, and I think a lot of people, were also very cliquey, just like Miguel was saying too, right? And you can't have that and be successful as a team. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's just the consistency factor of it. You could tell that this staff, you could tell that Harbaugh knows, and his keys to success and victory and sustained success over all 20 years or 25 years he's been coaching now has been to be the same guy every day. I'm showing up as Jim Harbaugh, your head coach, every single day. You are not going to see this man freaking out on the media after the Chargers lose a game. You're not going to see this guy about to cry. You're not going to see this guy. Like, guys, no offense. I'll go to all the training camps every single year. I go on a training camp tour every year. A Sean McVay practice versus a Brendan Staley practice was like night and day, and not in a good way for the Chargers. So that consistency is going to change everything, I feel like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And even to say one thing too, going back to Kyle's visit there too, and just seeing what the Chargers are doing, just even with the fan base in a sense already for the content creators, the guys that are out there doing things and talking about the Chargers all the time. It's cool to be able to see that they're really looking to be able to work with the broad, world around the Chargers, build the fan base, build the guys that want to be able to talk about the Chargers. Like, that's awesome to see. Like, Harbaugh is making so much shifting within this team. And plus, even for the draft party thing that the Chargers announced, where they're doing the pub crawl for the draft, they even have an event that they're sponsoring out in San Diego. Dude, they abandoned San Diego essentially, and now they're starting to come back to try to bring back San Diego involved. I love seeing that. Even when they hired Jim Harbaugh, they put out a billboard out in San Diego too, announcing the hiring of Jim Harbaugh. It's awesome to see. We're finally finding a guy that wants to really bring together this fan base as a Southern California fan base, not just basically an LA fan base now too, which is great. That's the right moves all around.
And you guys saw it at the event we just went to.
Yeah.
Harbaugh jerseys. We got Harbaugh jerseys.
Well, James got one too. Yeah, James got one.
Fans are coming back. They're coming back.
Love it.
Well, and he was an ex-quarterback for the Chargers, right? We're bringing back our old roots. I think that's a good thing, man. And
I think who was it that said that? Was it Anthony Miller that said that he played with Harbaugh for a little bit? Yeah, and he was saying it's like Harbaugh believed he could make every throw he tried. Yeah, something like that.
And he said he made a noise when he threw. He go, shoo. he make like sound effects, which is hilarious.
You can see it.
I was like, you could totally see him doing that too, dude. It sounds so funny to me, dude.
That's something. That's even something I would do too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, zing, or something
zing.
like that.
Yeah, you're like, what the heck, dude?
Actually, I would do this every single time. Yeah.
There you go. I like that too. Oh, but how good has Jim or Joe Ortiz done for us this offseason, right? I think he's made some good moves. Guys, we got two tight ends that obviously Bischoff and everyone seems to really like. I know we could talk about that right now. I mean, actually, I got Ben Herbert up here right now. My bad.
Dude, look at that look, though. Look at that look.
Intensity.
You better get right or he'll take you out, bro. He looks like
Well, and the thing about this too, right? I mean, he was the X factor for Jim Harbaugh, right? Right. And we're already seeing that in the workout that he's getting the team together and secondarily getting their bodies going in the right direction, which I think is really what needed to happen, with this team.
Yeah,
no doubt.
It's gonna be interesting to see how these guys look in training camp and in the preseason and into the early on stages of the year. I'm used to, knock on wood, losing 3 starters by week 4. So if we get to week 4 fully healthy, it's already a huge upgrade. We're already way ahead of where we were before.
Well, an interesting statistic: Michigan only lost 2 players for the season all of last season. So it was like a broken leg and some other broken bone, right? But it was never like a soft tissue issue or anything like that. So the good thing is this gentleman right here, obviously. And I love this picture right here. It looks like he's powering up, he's about to it's hilarious. But guys, like, he's there to get those guys' bodies right and ready to play in an NFL season. So that's just absolutely incredible to me. So again, he's the X factor.
Do you guys remember any physical fitness and, guys that are in charge of these players lifting and their whole program, like getting in front of a podium and talking. I don't remember that ever happening with anyone else.
Yeah, we haven't. And it was interesting when the live happened, when he had his press conference, there were people in there talking about, man, this is the most excited I've ever been about seeing or hearing from our strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. I mean, this is the last strength and conditioning coach I think we had for like 20 plus years. And
he was hiding for good reason.
Yeah, right. See ya, bud.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Herbert is going to be such an X factor for this team. The big thing I want to be able to see from this team is from week one, we are ready. We are ready, in shape, ready to go. I think it was against the Chiefs one time early on in the season. I remember Andy Reid talked about, we saw that the Chargers started getting tired about mid third quarter. Basically, they were already gassed at that point. They just weren't in shape. And Ben Herbert's going to get these dudes in shape, and we're going to be ready to roll and rock. And we're going to be charging in the new way starting week one, and we're just going to dominate fools, dude. It's going to be great.
And again, they're focusing on their cardio. They're focusing on stabilizer muscles. What do you call it? Shoulder girdle, hip girdle, soft tissue damage. How many hamstring injuries did we have last season, right? And you guys know I've had hamstring problems, right? But I've had to learn how to, work through it, stretch, and, really focus on that, right? And there's things you could do to make your hamstring stronger and better and harder to break. So it's going to be big, and again, he's also the guy that's going to get the team together. I was watching all these videos and I kept thinking, like, he does competitions in the locker room, where you're pulling and all this other stuff. It's going to make the team come together as a group and as a unit and not be separated, which I think is really how, as you were talking about NFL, Mike, everyone had an individual program they would have with the strength and conditioning coach, not a team program. Yeah. And that's a huge difference.
Grind and grow, baby. Grind and grow.
Yeah, right. And there was a story, I think it was Jim Harbaugh when he was at Stanford talking about a defensive back trying to steal an offensive lineman's sock off of his foot or something like that, and having a competition. And if you were able to do it, you were able to play in the game that weekend or whatnot. Yeah. Like, it's about making these guys more determined and really push their bodies to be able to achieve something. And I think that's going to be an awesome thing that I think Ben Herbert really complements Jim Harbaugh heavily with that competitive nature to him. So I'm stoked to be able to have a coach like this. Yeah. I mean, it's still so surreal to me that we have Jim Harbaugh as a head coach for this team. I mean, it's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time to have a legitimate head coach for once.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what Jim Harbaugh is all about, competing. It doesn't mean just you got to stay competitive. You got to work hard for it and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how much of that's going to be happening where people are going to play for positions in the pro level now, but college level, that definitely happens a lot more, but because obviously they got contracts now to kind of consider.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Millions on the line.
Yeah. I know Matt Money Smith did talk about that. So, okay, guys, everyone's competing for a job now. It's all, hey, you need to prove that you're there, right? And again, a new regime comes in, it's very different, right? And we all know Staley had his boys. Harbaugh, kind of has his boys. We all know the one position that's probably there is obviously Justin Herbert, but everyone else, hey, you got to prove it. So,
we just saw it with the receivers, man. He gave them the choice. You want to take it for the team, or best of luck to you. Who's got it better than you? You know what I mean? Like, enjoy your bag.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's got it better than you?
Good point.
Being in Chicago, making millions, who's got it better than you?
Yeah.
And what a great one thing line. I would say here with Aether's comment here about 48 rushes per game or per attempt, or I guess
for week one.
For week one.
Hey, I would love 48 rushing yards per attempt. Yeah.
Yeah. 48 rushing yards. Per attempt. Okay. But that would happen if we get a lead, right? Because we're going to sit on that lead and we're going to out physical the other team. We just want to show dominance. Right. And I got a couple slides. We'll talk more about that as well too. But again, there's a lot to discuss on that. So,
by the way, did you guys see that video clip of LT on that podcast talking about the Patriots game?
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
man. Theory, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that, but I didn't know what was he saying on that.
Basically, he was saying, so the game that they played against the Patriots in the divisional round, we were the 14-2 season, I believe, that year. He was like, dude, we're killing them.
Yeah.
Like LT was just running all over him. We had a ton of picks, everything. Tom Brady was looking like a fool, basically. And he was pretty much stating that Cam Cameron knew that he was getting a job with the Miami Dolphins as a head coach, that he basically just threw the game at that point and just let the game go pretty much.
Yeah.
And he kind of stopped his job, essentially being the offensive coordinator during that time. Chargers ended up losing it. Obviously the Marlon McCree fumble and everything that happened. It pretty much, he's saying that, hey, look, I feel like Cam Cameron just quit on the team and he knew he wanted to start his job with the Dolphins.
Right.
And
how'd that job go? I don't know who. I don't know what happened.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna
Exactly.
assume that because of karma and the way the universe works, that did not work out.
Yep.
Well said.
Didn't go well.
But that goes to show you too is that they were running the ball. They were 3 scores up on or 3, maybe 2 scores up on the Patriots, and they just kept running the ball and they were winning. And if they kept that energy going, history would have been completely different.
Totally different.
Yeah,
totally different. And it really was like the Chargers at that time and the Patriots were the 2 teams. That was it. And if we just beat the Patriots right in the divisional round, the road to the Super Bowl would have been there for us.
That would have been it. Yep.
So Mighty bring us a good question here. Do you guys agree with the team building the future, not attempting to win a Super Bowl for a year? It's sort of, they're basically saying, a lot of people are saying this is a rebuild for the Chargers. I don't see that at all. And I promise you, if you were to talk to Jim Harbaugh, anybody on the team, this is not a rebuild year.
Nope.
The reality is we're trying to get physical, and I'm going to show some formations and plays that will probably run more frequently this year with a physical mindset. So this ain't no rebuild year. I truly believe we can win 12 games this season. I don't know, Mike, what's your take on this? You think we can win 12 games? AFC Championship? I think we can do it.
Yeah, I got strong feelings on this, honestly. I hear people saying rebuild, all this stuff over and over and over again. I don't even know what they're talking about, because in order for it to be a rebuild, almost by definition, you have to let go of the quarterback. I mean, that's kind of like a key component of a rebuild. The Chargers kept their franchise edge rusher and the guy that just balled out last year. He's not our franchise edge rusher, but he is a franchise edge rusher. They kept their franchise left tackle in town, who has a ton of trade value if you wanted to rebuild. You kept the quarterback, who has a ton of trade value if you wanted to rebuild. They let go of the aging players, but only because they didn't take the pay cuts. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams would be here if they would have been willing to play for 10 and 15 this year. So, I mean, it's not a rebuild year. It's a retool. They're bringing in their guys. If you look at the roster and what we're going to field next year, we're going to add a draft class, of course. We added a few free agents. They even brought Denzel Perryman back.
Yeah.
What is the rebuild? It's going to be mostly similar players, just with better scheme, better mindset, better coaching, more put together, better offseason program, all of that. It's not a rebuild. It's more of a retool. And this team that won 10 games 2 years ago, and remember, in that 10-game season, they were beat to crap. The team was falling apart on its last leg, still won 10 games on Herbert's back. It's just carrying the team. And that team is coming out again. But with Jim Harbaugh coaching them. Last year is a throwaway year. Last year, the Chargers went 5-12 because Herbert got hurt. They could have won 8 games still last year, 9 games last year.
Easily.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And, and even to say the one thing, the idea of retooling is one thing, but I think it's really just a reset of a mindset, more or less. Like change the mindset. Because think of the hangover from the Jaguars game. Even going into last season, they're like, hey, is there a hangover from that playoff loss? No, not at all. Not at all. It kind of seemed like it kind of still did hang around. We did have a lot of one score type losses all around and just being stupid again. And obviously they could go to the head coach essentially too. But bottom line, like it's almost just a complete mentality shift all around with this team. With these coaches down here, I once again, there's an emphasis of a lot of physicality added to this team. And every time I keep thinking that, I keep thinking about a song by Olivia Newton-John. They should play it in the locker room. Let's get physical. It's not the most manliest song by any means, but it's a reminder, guys. We need to smash mouth these guys, beat them down, mentally wear them down. And it's kind of almost a little bit of a rebirth of the excuse me, what's our head coach from the mid 2000s, Marty Schottenheimer,
Yeah.
where he's going Marty ball. Like,
Yep,
what does
right
he
here.
do when he's got a lead and he's got the ball in his hands, got 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, just smash mouth football,
Smash it down.
just smash it down, drain that clock, game over, put in a victory formation, call it a day. And we're going to see more of that instead of these stupid heart attack games.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Well, and you got to remember too, these gentlemen also said that there was too much pressure put on Herbert. Herbert had to be perfect for us to win. And our defense was terrible, as you guys all know. Guys, we were 28th, 27th, and I think 28th in the last all 3 years underneath Staley. And he was supposed to be some sort of defensive guru. What they're trying to do is make the game simpler for everyone to play and then out physical. And then specifically on the right, Bischoff with the fresh ass haircut, dude. Check that out. You can even get the hard part in there too.
Get that, yeah.
Get that hard part. What's up?
Love it.
And but dude, he's like, look, we're not going to put everything on Herbert's shoulders. You know, we're going to physical these guys out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we need to go play hard, play more spread, we can, because we got Herbert, right? So if we got a lead, we'll protect it. If we need to go score, we'll go score, and then we'll protect that lead. And it just kind of depends on how the game's going back and forth.
I actually just worked on a video about this yesterday, guys. So I have
Love
some
it.
pretty,
Oh,
some pretty
okay.
good
All right.
right here in the head. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do
Without
it.
Keenan Allen, Herbert has 8 career games so far without Keenan Allen. In those games, the Chargers are forced to be more balanced. They can't throw to one receiver 11 times, so they have to run the ball more. They have to rely on the defense more.
Yep.
Chargers are 7-1 without Keenan Allen on the football field. And
Oh.
Herbert is healthy. And also, this is unbelievable, by the way. Since Justin Herbert was drafted, the Chargers have had 4 games where Eckler went for 100 yards. 4
Wow.
of 40-something games.
Wow.
And in those 4 games, we're 3-1. The one loss is that Miami game that we should have won anyways, but we lost because of the defense.
Yeah.
And Herbert's stat line in those games, just over 1,000 yards or total. It's not passing, it's total. Just over 1,000 yards total, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in a balanced path to run attack.
Ooh.
The defense can just give up 27 points per game over the last 3 years. And when the defense only gives up 27 or less, I should say, Herbert's 21-4. Everyone's seen that stat. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And when I look at all these stats and you start to realize how good he's been without Keenan Allen and how Mike Williams has basically missed half of the games that Justin Herbert has played already, I see why they kept Bosa and Mack over the receivers. Because this is what's going to lead to success. This is what's going to lead to the win column going up. This is what's going to lead to next year, the Chargers, like you're saying, being a 10, 11, 12 win team in the first season with Harbaugh, and everyone's going into year 2 like, holy shit, look out.
No doubt. Well, in the one
Let
thing
him
too
cook.
with-
Let him
Let him cook now. Let him cook. My son, let
no doubt.
cook.
Let him cook.
When I saw that Keenan Allen stat, because I went through and looked at all the game logs and everything, and I saw that Keenan Allen stat, I was just like, I got the chills. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We are 7-1 without Allen on the field.
It's crazy. I mean, and Joshua Palmer's done a great job when he stepped up. Like when his
He's
name and his
fantastic.
number is called, he
Yep.
does a phenomenal job all around. If Quentin Johnston could step up and be that guy that we hoped at 21 that we drafted last year, dude, it could be a sick looking wide receiving core. Plus, if we end up drafting another wide receiver, which we will, we guarantee we will, and there's even talks about Tajay Boyd coming in over here too. He sounds like he's got a lot of money that he wants, but
Yeah, he wants a lot of money, dude. Like,
yeah, but
money.
We'll see where that lands. But I'm excited about what this team could potentially be without those guys now. And now going back to the whole Bosa, Mack, Tooley situation, I don't know if you saw that stat too, NFL Mike, where they had 44 snaps together last year.
Yep.
They were 25% sack hit rate in those 44 times. So they were able to get 11 sacks on 44 attempts with all 3 of those guys on the field at the same exact time.
crazy.
Dude,
That
that's
averages out to record-breaking numbers.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Right.
And that's where, like I've said, and I've done like a mock draft where it's like, what if we go out and get Dallas Turner too? And you put a 4th guy out there, you could essentially put 4 of those menaces on the line at the same exact time in some level and mix and match them in some way or another. Dude, it could be chaotic at the D line and just create chaos. Like, I would love to see that. Everybody behind him, all the linebackers, all the defensive backs could kind of just play their zone, play their man-to-man, while basically the D-line just wrecks shop.
And I feel like, and just one more thing on the D-line, I feel like they're in a perfect position to where they can draft this year and next year the guys that are just going to be there, and we're not going to have like a turnover of the D-line. And you're going to have Bosa and Mack for 2 or 3 more years, but they're supplementing and they're drafting behind them. And then when Thule is the number 1 guy, we're going to have a whole D-line ready to go.
Exactly. Continuity plan, basically.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That'll be good. Yep.
Yeah.
Got that shirt.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. But this is a good question by Mighty, and I think also looks like Grandizer made the same, kind of the same question. Says, do you currently think our O-line is capable of improvement with our new coaching staff and mentally, or do you think we need a new right tackle? So specifically talking about Pipkins, I think it'll be interesting to see on Pipkins. Now, the thing about Pipkins, he's not a very physical guy. He's more of a pass blocking or, pass pro type of, right tackle. But Fuaga would be a physical right tackle. I mean, that guy just moves bodies, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the question. To me, that's where I think the real conversation comes into play. But what do you guys think specifically? And again, Bischoff specifically talked about that. We are an offensive line team.
Yep.
I know other places don't care about offensive line. That's what he said, which that's not true. But
yeah, it's definitely not true. Yeah.
They are doing everything around the offensive line, right? So anyways, what are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, I think Pipkins actually can improve a lot, like under Ben Herbert, because I understand though too, is like he's been a very good right tackle. He's not like given up a whole lot, but I do know that he's kind of had a little bit of injury struggles for a while, so that's going to be where Ben Herbert's going to come in and kind of strengthen them knees a little bit more, and and the ankles and stuff, so that way like he can actually perform at a higher level. Because like I think we ran into one of his cousins at one point, right? And he was saying that he's been playing hurt like for most of the season, so and he's still championing out. He's still out there doing his job, and he's doing a pretty decent job. So I think Pipkins can elevate himself this year. And so, but I mean, we don't know. I mean, I would not be mad if we did get a guy like Fuaga in the draft as well, though. So,
well, Paulie with a mullet's always trouble, bro. It's always trouble.
Right. You're always scary. At all. Oh man, but yeah, I think I'm out on Pipkins being a starting right tackle. I think that he's a perfect guy to be the 6th offensive lineman, coming in on really big sets, like anyone goes down, guard, tackle.
Good point.
Pipkins can come in. Yeah. I also think that Ortiz and Harbaugh, they know what they have in 69 in the middle of their line. They know that Sawyer could play right tackle. And I think going into this draft, if we trade back, it's probably likely they're trading back to get a tackle and a skill player, either a corner, wide receiver, something like that. But if they sit there and they draft Marv, or they sit there and they draft Malik Neighbors, now I think you can really think about in rounds 2, 3, and 4, best player available. If there's the guard that Harbaugh wants for the run game, we could bump 69 to right tackle. And I have full confidence after what I saw him do at left tackle. Save that season. Save the entire season for the Chargers that year.
Yep.
We were stuck with Storm Norton having to play left tackle. It wasn't him. So I think that they're in a unique situation where they have a lot of versatile offensive linemen. Like Slater's locked in at left tackle. Zion's locked in at right guard or left guard, probably right guard. I think Bozeman's going to be our starting center, even if they do draft a center for the future. So the other guard position and the right tackle position, Sawyer could play both. And they could definitely go into the draft with the idea that we could take either. We could fill either spot and move Sawyer.
Yep.
That's a great point, man. That's such a great point. And you're right. By the way, just so you guys know, I promise you, and we're going to go through some of the formations, you could bring in Pipkins as like a 6th offensive lineman and just say, okay, we're putting more meat on that line, dude. Great. Stop us. And yes. So there's a lot of ways you could swizzle it around. Plus, we're forgetting McFadden too. McFadden's played all 3 positions. He's solid. We still got Hymas. He's solid, as the center. So there's a lot of swizzling around that's going to be interesting to see.
It makes me feel like they are just like, they're going to wait and see what happens. And I don't know for sure what their opinions are on Malik Neighbors, but it makes me feel like that Harbaugh is just like, whatever Arizona does, that's going to determine our draft strategy.
I agree. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, and
got
that's
lightning
absolutely
storm
the
Did a
case.
jet fly over it or fly through?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't
Yeah.
know. Sounded like I thought it was waves or something like that. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what just happened there?
Yeah.
Sound effect.
Yeah. I was just kind of sounding the storm a little bit. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
And you're right. The blue chews do make everyone solid in
That's
the right
right.
way.
That's right.
Sponsored? No free ads here. No free ads.
Hey, no free.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
said. You got to pay for that.
I drink my Celsius backwards. They ain't getting no free ads out of me.
I know. I'm over here drinking my liquid death, showing
I
off
know.
the logo. Oh boy.
Hey, but I got my Butterfinger protein shake, bro. What's up, dude? It's freaking
Oh,
tasty.
here we go about
Come
those
on, man.
again. Oh boy.
Don't even
I
get me
got,
started.
yeah. What do we start? I got a Metallica over here, though. So it's all
Oh,
good.
there we go. But yeah, we could talk. Okay, so eighth or third question out again. Maybe I didn't see it. I don't know. I didn't see.
Yeah,
a
I
question.
saw it earlier.
Okay, we'll toss it out. We'll get to it when we get a second here. But again, the whole point of the offensive line, folks, is to protect this man right here. Look at this Bronco trying to put a little pressure on our boy here. So look, he won't have to run around like a chicken with his head cut off anymore because the right side's falling apart or the left side's falling apart. The whole point of the spread offense is really those 5 offensive linemen need to protect Justin Herbert. But guys, we're going to go max protect. I'm going to show you some formations we're going to see this year, folks. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how our offense produces through it. But we're protecting our crown jewel, our queen. That's not the right word for it. Our king. There we go. Right. Our fearless leader on the field. We're keeping him there. Right. So anyhow.
Well,
Can I just point out how happy he looks to get into the right there? Like look at that.
That one killed me.
Crazy picture. He is so happy to be that close to Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah. He's so hyped. He's so hyped.
He didn't make that tackle either. Herbert dipped
Yeah,
into
no,
that.
I think he whiffed it. Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, he definitely did. He definitely did for sure.
Yeah.
But again, like, protecting Herbert is the number one, situation. That's all we care about. And we don't have to put it all on Herbert's shoulders. Just like you were saying, Mike, everything was 100% on Herbert's shoulders. He had to be perfect for us to win. And that's not realistic football, right? I mean, look at Brock Purdy. It's not on Brock Purdy's shoulders. He only has to throw the ball 25, maybe 30 times a game if they're behind. But they want it like 25 times. The rest of the time they're running the ball. And that you're going to see the same thing with Justin Herbert this year.
That's where things are going to go to the next level for us, is when Herbert has some help, because he is still, in my opinion, I know that it hasn't happened in the playoffs yet, he is still succeeding as a quarterback in the NFL without any help. He is being perfect. He is damn near perfect. I mean, he doesn't get much more perfect than he's been. So when he has that help and he comes off that play action and he stands up tall and he realizes, crap, I got 10 yards to let my routes develop down the field before anyone's going to touch me, it's over. He's going to drop dimes 50 yards down the field on people.
Hell yeah.
It's over with. And, so kind of going back to the whole idea that, hey, we got to protect Justin Herbert. Let him cook, essentially. Let him stand up right. Let him have those 10-yard gaps where he can let his receivers run around freely and to be able to be open and let his job be easier for him. Aether basically brought up a whole comment. I mean, well, actually, I'll go back on this. Andy Bischoff talks about, obviously, the offensive line. We're an offensive line-centric based team. We 100%. Want to work 100% on this O-line because that's going to be the generator that does everything for everybody. Basically, if you got a good O-line, your offense could stay on the field, do 13, 15 play-type drives, keep your defense off the field, let them stay fresh so they could just be menaces while they're out there. Tire out their defense, game over. Out physical the team, bottom line. Aether brought up a question said Marvin Harrison Jr. as a bolt. Let's go. Trade back, kind of think like the trade back with Vic LT. Remember that whole LT Vic trade that happened years ago? He believes that the Chargers need to trade up to get to the Patriots to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think that's a necessary trade, in my opinion.
Nope.
Now, once again, having Marvin Harrison Jr. on the team would be pretty solid. Do I think that it's the right move based upon the philosophy this team is talking about? I'm keep kind of leaning a little bit more like we might just go offensive line, not a sexy pick by any means.
Yep.
Right.
But just build that O-line like what we've been talking about. The physical nature of this team is starting at the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
If they put a 5th pick. I mean, I don't really know who they would go with, but I would like it if they trade back and get Fuaga. If you get him at 5, that's a reach in my opinion.
Or
But if you get him at 11, that's the right area for Fuaga, basically. So I don't know, NFL Mike, I know you got some comments on that.
Well, I was just gonna say if they pass on Harrison at 5, the freaking training facility is gonna get burnt to the ground.
So that's
it was great while we had it. It was great while we had it. But
Yeah.
I agree with you though. I don't think I feel like the need at wide receiver for us is being overestimated for one, and the gap between these receivers is not as wide as people think. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. has that extra X factor. He's my wide receiver 1 as well. I'm not saying I have Malik Neighbors over him, but I feel like they're very similar level prospects going into this. I thought we're going to get very similar results out of the 2 guys, different styles, obviously, of play. But I feel like you are going to get a wide receiver 1, either way, if you go either direction. I think if they trade back and they go Brian Thomas at 23, I feel good about that. I feel like that's a wide receiver 1. I feel like they trade back and we end up with Lad McConkey on this roster. Like this team has so many options at wide receiver. It does not need to be the 5th pick or nothing. Like they can trade back. They have plenty of options at that position. I think Quentin Johnston is a way better fit in this offense by a mile compared to the other offense that he played in. We just saw him have a bad rookie year in. By the way, everyone that is doubting if QJ can bounce back, just go and Google Mike Williams, rookie year. Everyone's so upset about losing Mike Williams, but they won't give QJ any room to improve.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, well, that's why you have to really compare QJ and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams to their second year, because the reality is Keenan Allen had to step up his first year because Malcolm Floyd went down, and I think their other wide receiver 2 was suffering from some toe injuries and stuff like that most of the year. So he had to step up. And then Mike Williams, of course, he got injured his first year, and then he stepped up in a bigger way his second year. So that's why, you can't compare the first years at that point. You have to look at their second now.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, he was asked to do a lot, right?
Yeah.
One of the big things about QJ is his route tree wasn't exactly stellar. He good at go routes, but he was more of a, slant guy with yak afterwards. And they asked him to do too much in the X position. So, I feel like he wasn't ready for that role, right? He won't be in that role this year. So I think it'll be very different. But again, good question here from IU. Wide receiver, Marvin Harrison or Neighbors. Marvin Harrison's the guy, dude. Neighbors is great too, don't get me wrong. But Marvin Harrison is amazing. His separation he creates at the line every single time is second to none. So I think he's more complete, but Neighbors is great too. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on both of these guys?
Neighbors for me.
Neighbors.
I like Neighbors.
To me, I like Neighbors too. I like them both. To me, it's the way Marvin makes everything look so effortless.
Smooth. Yeah.
Very Jamar Chase-esque to me. Just how effortless he makes everything look. And that's how it should look if you're going to be a superstar wide receiver your rookie year. So that part of it almost makes me even more inclined. Dude, this guy is making it look easy out there. I want to see him on the Chargers so bad, but I'm okay with all the other options because I said, I listed them just before. The one more thing about QJ I wanted to say, and it just makes me so glad that Tom Telesco got hired by our rival team because it just made no sense. You brought in Kellen Moore. You were going to do an air raid offense, and you picked the one physical smash mouth yak wide receiver that fits in the Harbaugh offense now. I mean, I'm cool about it now. He's more a play action. He's been blocking you all game, blocking all game. Oh, yeah, he also can run a 4.4, so he's going to take off on some random play action. So it worked out. But in the moment, he had Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison both perfect for the air raid offense, and he went with
Yeah, clearly they didn't have a very good vision. And I think part of that, that was just, I don't know, man. You go back all day on that and just be like, these guys just didn't really know what they were thinking. And I will say this, it really annoyed me that Tom Telesco was like, you know what? It's cool. He doesn't need to play. We'll have him in the wheelhouse. He'll play in a year or two. I'm like, why would you draft like that? Why would you draft like that? It makes no sense.
No.
Isaiah Spiller's career is ruined.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. We have no idea about who the heck that guy is.
Right.
And he's going into year 3.
It's what
makes
the
no
heck
sense.
is going on here? It's I mean, I want to see what he does. We want to see him. And I don't understand why they're not playing him or even JT Woods too. We barely ever see them.
when you're freaking 5-10. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, get them out there.
Put 'em
Get
out
'em
there.
out
Why
there.
Let
not?
them run.
Yeah.
Let them
Yeah.
get some snaps. Hey, they're added a question here. Trade back Vikings. Yeah, that's the kind of go-to one, right? And you know, we've all seen this, guys. People slip, right? And players slip, right? Who knows? Maybe Brock Bowers is there at 11. Maybe we take Brock Bowers. So let me show you some formations, guys. This is one of the things I kind of wanted to show people. What you're probably going to see. This is 21 personnel, right? So here we go. So here, let me get my pointer up here.
Get
Getting
that
in
point.
it. We're getting in it.
Yeah, we got a tight end right here. We got our fullback, Ben Mason, right? But, you know, guys, you know, obviously he could just run to the right. Boom, there you go. Easy. You know, super simple, right? Obviously just play right off the tight end, but 2 wide receivers, right? So that's it. And, you know, the reality, so this is the X right here because he's on the line of scrimmage. So he's the one that has to be typically a little more physical. That's the difference between the X is they're the kind of the guy that usually gets press coverage. So you got to understand you're going to see this is our wide receiver package, right? That's probably what we're going to see for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Not like it was last year where it was like 4 wide receivers, empty sets. You're not going to see a lot of empty sets, I think, this upcoming season. Not with the way we're playing. We're going to put meat on that line and move people, right? So there's a lot of ways that's going to happen. So it's going to be very, very different. So anyways, 21 personnel is kind of like, I think that's going to be the wide receiver set or passing formation we're going to see a lot of this next season.
This is what excites you about this is what excites you about a potential like Brock Bowers ad, because like the
Correct.
importance of that position in this offense, it's unmeasurable. Like, no offense to Hayden Hurst, but you know, we would like to see 19 there.
Yeah. And then right here we got 12 personnel, you know, which is a little bit different, right? But again, 2 tight ends, quarterback, you know, and again, it's a little different, but you got more meat on the line. You're going to see a lot of tight ends on that line to protect Justin Herbert, right? And, you know, keep him upright and healthy. It's going to be huge, folks. So,
well, and Bucky Brooks talked about that on Believe.
Yeah, right. He did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was like, look, go back to the Stanford days with Jim Harbaugh. He put so many people on that line. It's just like, look, it's a game of numbers at that point. If you have 7 dudes on the line that are basically like, you know, 300 something pound dudes or whatnot, and just out muscling everybody, dude, you can't stop that. Like, if you just load the box, load the line with just big dudes all around, what can you do at that point? You're just going to get so many different holes on the O-line. We're going to have gaps in space to be able to run the ball and just out physical players or teams. Excuse me. It's going to be just like this. I mean, that's why there's a point when you look at like this 12 personnel right here. You think, do we really need a lot of wide receivers? Not necessarily, because if you really look at it, 2 tight ends in the end, 2 wide receivers outside. That's all it is. Now, we do need them, obviously. We do need them, but it's not like the way the system is built is not designed to be able to say, hey, look, we need the top tier type wide receivers out there. Bottom line, even I think Andy Bischoff said that we need guys that can block. And first off, we need you to block. That's all it is. If you're a wide receiver, you need to block. That's what it's going to be.
And I also think that they're going to turn that extra 4th round pick via trade up or just sitting and picking into a running back. They're going to be drafting a running back that forces defenses to come up and load the box, because not only are you getting Zion Johnson and Rashawn Slater body slamming you play after play, the running back is also running people over. And there's many in this draft class, in that draft range, that they could be targeting that will take this thing to the next level in a 1-2 punch with Gus, the bus.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy's a first down machine, dude. He is a first down machine.
And I hate my work. It shouldn't be like this, but my least favorite down as a Chargers fan over like the last 10 years is 3rd and 1. I hate 3rd and 1. I hate 3rd and 1.
Awful.
Yeah.
And exactly. We could go to the same for our defense of 3rd and like 7 or plus. They always give it up every time, and you're like, bro.
How about 4th and 29?
4th and 29, exactly.
Like there's no way they're going to get a first down here. Oh my god.
That was awful. That was
any
against the
third and
Ravens,
long,
wasn't
we're
it?
like, yep, there you go. All right, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, wasn't that against the Ravens? It was a Ray Rice catch.
Yeah.
I think he ended up getting 30 yards or something stupid on
it was
it.
4th
You're
and
right.
29. That's what I was referencing. I was hoping someone
Yep.
would.
Oh my God, dude.
Hey, Steven, thanks, man, for the super chat, by the way. And yeah, man, always appreciate the support, dude. Do you think the rumors about neighbors having problems in a big city is BS? So that, and we chatted a little bit about that. I mean, it's a couple weeks before the draft, you start getting some of that smoke out there. He was out there looking at real estate. He was all hyped about, man, look at this beach right here. I could see it from my house. Like,
yeah,
great. I mean, I'll give you an example, a real life example. Like, so I lived in LA for a long period of time, and some buddies would fly in or move from small cities into LA, and they just get absorbed into the city. And big cities can be very hard on small city kids. It's hard for them to be able to get accustomed to so much around them. I've always felt, and you have seen, with say Las Vegas, not the biggest city in comparison to Los Angeles, but there is, Sin City for a reason, right? You can find ways to get in trouble if you want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you saw with the Raiders, there's a lot of guys that have gotten troubled there, right? And young kids with a lot of money going to big cities always could be a problem. Always could be a problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, you just hope that Malik Neighbors is that guy that could keep his head straight. I mean, if you kind of look at like the LSU-based wide receivers, they've all been pretty good coming out of college and such. But LA can really, really absorb people, and it's not meant for everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me personally, I feel like it's a life thing. It's all about who you surround yourself with. Who are your friends when you come to the city? If you make friends with Quentin Johnston and Josh Palmer, and that's your best friends here, you're going to be completely fine. You have nothing to worry about. But if you make friends with little Yachty 54 and you start hanging out with all the rappers and stuff, then things might go south for you. And I don't know if little Yachty's clean or whatever's going on with him. That's just the first name I thought of. But it's just all about who you surround yourself with. Are you going to hang out with Justin Herbert? Or are you going to go hang out with, the hooligans that are going to get you into hooligan stuff? And I think that's an issue that any young person that's being handed millions of dollars is going to come through and come across. Who do you hang out with? Do you think Rashee Rice was in that Corvette with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce?
Nope.
Yep. That's a really good point. My buddy always says it's not what you do, it's who you do it with, right? And that's a big part of it, dude. And Dad used to always say to us, it's be careful who your friends are, right? Your friend group, says a lot about who you are as a person. But we got a question here for you from Grandizer Mike. So maybe tackle this one if you get a second here.
One position that gets a huge upgrade, does he mean like that we're going to add someone through the draft, or do you think he means like just the person that we already have there that's going to improve a ton?
Maybe a little of both, I would say. How about that?
I think the one player that we're going to see back and even better than we've ever seen him is Derwin James. I think that Derwin James
I'd love to see
built.
Yep.
And we talk about Patrick Willis. We talk about Dante Whitner. We talk about all the guys that the 49ers had at that time. But he is built to be a Harbaugh guy. These guys are meant for each other. And I'm so glad that they found each other. So I think that we're going to see the game wrecker back. And that is so big for us. And that's what we lacked last year from Derwin, is they just put him in the middle of the field or like play free safety. After all of this talk about potentially moving him to linebacker, this guy saying shit like that, he left him in the middle of the field for an entire season. It's like Derwin James wants to be involved in every single play. That's how he plays. He's going to become a more sound tackler now because the tackling rules have changed, and he has to, or he's going to get kicked out of the damn league. I think that we're going to see the best Derwin James we've seen next year.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Comeback player of the year, Derwin James. Let's go.
There's a chance.
Yeah. Let's go.
Defense player of the year.
Yeah.
So, and then going back to this, I was just going to say, guys, like at the end of the day, there's just so many different variations you can do on this, right? Obviously, the tight ends can just block for a little bit and then just come to the flat. These guys can cross, and I just feel like there's a lot of different things you can do to just get people open, right? But again, you're in 12 personnel. Everyone immediately in the defense is going to say, okay, this is a running formation, right? But you could still throw out of these formations, right? Hayden Hurst, Will Dissly, right? Or whoever we have playing, or, Stone Smart, Donald Parham, right? These are all guys that can be in that formation, right? So I just think there's a lot of creativity out of these personnel formations. And I just think that's kind of interesting to bring up because you're going to see a lot of it this next year. And here's 13 personnel, very similar, but it's just a different type of mindset, right? This guy can come back, do a little, pre-snap motion, fullback block, you're running play, or just, go out to the flat, right? This guy crosses. There's just a lot of cool things you can do out of these formations. I think this is what they're going to do with marrying the run and the pass and give the opportunity for these tight ends to really excel in this offense. And so I guess that's what I'm getting at, right? I want us to kind of maybe get out of the mindset of thinking so much about we have to have a wide receiver. This offense is going to feature more tight ends than wide receivers for the most part, right? Yeah. So just understand that fact. I guess that's why I'm trying to show you this, guys. And wide receivers are going to take a little bit of a back seat as much as in part, but it would be really hard to pass up Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors, right? Yeah. That's the point, right? So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Well, at 5 though, too, like we have to kind of figure out what kind of offers we're going to get for the 5th pick,
Correct.
Because the Cardinals, I mean, they could get, trade away their 4th pick as well. Of course, they have a lot of draft capital this year too, though. So
they have a ton of draft capital.
They have
a crazy amount.
Yeah,
like nuts.
So they could trade away their 4th pick with the Vikings too, and even get more if that happens too. It's like it really depends on what's gonna fall to us at 5 because, like, the 4th or the 5th pick could be the first pick of the entire draft for any position outside of quarterback. So that's gonna be a real interesting thing. So like, we it all just depends on what offers they get, but the hope is that wide receiver for at least the fans goes. I can't really see it anymore. I feel like I'm kind of with a lot of other people saying like I think they may go O-line at 5, and that's gonna like ruffle a lot of feathers, piss a lot of people off, of course. But hey, you got to do what is really best for the team. And as we were talking about, wide receiver might not be best for the team.
Yeah, there's going to be, and someone asked in the chat who the starting right tackle is going to be. I don't think he's on the roster either right now. I think the starting right tackle is to be drafted. So I think that we're going right tackle in some way, shape, fashion, something like that. That's what I think. There's just options out there. And you talk about they draft right tackle, they just lock it in right there at 5th overall. At 37, you're going to have a lot of options still at wide receiver. And when you talk about fits at wide receiver, there's a plenty of fits that are going to be there at that spot. And they could just go ahead and wait on the receiver position if they really want a receiver. Also, like the trade back situation, I personally think Rome Odunze is an amazing fit for this offense. And I also think, we brought him up earlier, McConkey is a perfect fit for this offense as well. So either one of those guys, we get them at 23, or we get Dunze at 11 and the right tackle at 23. I mean, it's still great.
And Herbert can make any wide receiver look better, dude. The guy is just bananas accurate, right? So, anyways.
Well, even to say, if you look at like another guy that's kind of leading more into the 2nd round too, like an Xavier Legette, a 6'3", 227 wide receiver with speed. Like, that's another dude that I've kept my eye on too. And he's another specimen. This is a very, very good draft for O-line and wide receiver, in my opinion. And I really honestly think that there's a lot of really, really good running backs that are going to fit well for this system. Big body type dudes. Like I read into like Isaac Guerendo from, I think, Louisville, I believe. That guy's a big dude, great speed, great hands, kind of reminds me of a faster Austin Eckler, bigger body stature kind of guy. And I'm seeing mocks of him getting in around the 5th round for us too. And so there's a lot of things in this draft that's going to be really, really awesome. I mean, I know I did a lot of recap of like visits that we've had with players and such, even some O-line guys too. The guy that I was talking about, the center from Kansas too. What's his dang name?
Nowitzki or something like that. Or
Mike Nowitzki, Guy got transferred from a tight end to the center, and every single O-line that he was the center and was very consistently always better every single year. And the guy is an absolute stud and could be one of those guys late in the draft that could be a great steal for us at center. There's a lot of holes on this team, but there's a lot of talent coming out of this draft that I'm excited to see what we could do with coming soon.
Yep.
Talking about Ricky Pearsall or somebody? I think
Yeah. Pearsall. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
So,
Ricky. Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky. That's a cool name,
that's
right?
our name.
Yeah. So one thing Matt Money Smith did bring up on the podcast, I think he talked about it on Believe and also maybe Guilty as Charged. Or no, Guilty as Charged. Chargers Weekly. Talked about J.K. Dobbins. You'd want to sign him after the draft because you don't have to give up a compensatory pick. So I suspect that's probably the case. They're probably just saying, all right, you're our guy. We're going to sign you, but let's sign after so we don't have to give up a compensatory pick. And again, George Ortiz talks about that and he thinks about that quite often. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. And you guys got to remember too, after the draft, people get released because they pick up somebody else in the draft and they say, well, we don't want to pay this guy's huge contract. So there's going to be a whole nother free agency wave at that moment as well too. So just remember, guys, it's something to think about as far as the free agency is concerned, right, as well too. So anyhow, just one of my thoughts.
Top 5, right? We're top 5 in cap space right now.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Who
Started
thought
from the bottom, now we're here.
Dude.
Like,
I think that there's still a chance that OBJ becomes a Chargers.
yeah,
Could happen.
There you go.
OBJ,
happened.
Boyd,
Hey,
we got money. Now we could also
pay him in Bitcoin, Yeah.
You probably would take it.
Yeah.
There's some kind of loophole there where Bitcoin might work out better.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so we normally do a mock draft here as well too, guys. We want to do the mock draft again this year or this year.
Yeah.
And I would say, let NFL Mike make the picks. How about that? Let's see.
We're gonna put you on the
mock
spot.
draft. I'm putting the heat on NFL Mike right now.
Okay, so are we just gonna have NFL Mike do every pick, and then in the chat, guys, you can agree or disagree with NFL. Woo, you're putting him right on the spot, dude. Oh my god.
Let's do it.
Ooh, hate.
I'm scared.
Okay, all right. We got this here. Okay, hold on a second.
When we get to round 5, Michigan.
Michigan, whoever the Michigan player. Go.
Yeah.
Is there any Michigan players left?
Home cooking. Yeah.
Home cooking. I like that. All right,
This
here
is
we
a
go.
great point down here that he was just chatting about. Everybody's worried about our wide receivers, but what about our cornerbacks?
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
that is definitely something that I've really emphasized quite a bit in the draft. And let's see if NFL Mike thinks the same too about those cornerbacks. And
and then the whole chat has to rate NFL Mike's draft. As well, too. Oh boy. So where can everyone find you, NFL Mike, real quick? Or do we want everyone to know? On the Twitter sphere?
Yeah, everywhere. Just
Twitter,
search NFL Mike, it comes up.
Instagram.
All right, Mark, you're going a little too far now, Mark. You're going a little too far.
Oh yeah, that's a little too far.
Oh, I love it. All right, so we got the simulator up, and we're gonna do 7 rounds, and we're gonna go fast. Obviously, we're Charger fans. Let's go here. All righty. Okay.
Start fast and finish.
That's right. That's my online dating profile title. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, so here we go. What are we doing here, NFL Mike?
we
have a trade offer from the Minnesota Vikings. First of all, let's check that first.
I know,
we ain't taking 7 and 38 here.
We can try.
Yeah, the only thing is,
oh, okay. So it doesn't have like other offers when it says next.
There's only one trade offer.
So we only got the one trade offer on this one.
Yeah.
Every time we've tried to like offer something, it just never seems to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if somebody traded up here as well too. So
yeah.
So do you want to take this?
We're in this spot.
But it went one spot.
And our guys there.
But it went all the 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterback, didn't it?
Yeah, decline their asses. Yeah. They're trying to get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Look at that. Yeah.
No one's getting Marvin Harrison Jr.
If you want
Marvin
to
Harrison Jr. is there. Marvin
Harrison
Jr.
is
on board. He's a Charger.
Propose a trade. Let's propose a trade if you want to. Yeah, you can try.
Nope. Draft him.
You want Marvin? Okay. You want Marvin? Okay, cool. Okay, all right.
It is.
If he's on the board, being drafted.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. We got a trade offer here. We got
that's a whack trade.
Yeah,
I don't care about 2025. This is only 2024, so
yeah.
Okay.
Bad offer, New York. Terrible offer.
Reject. Okay.
Reject.
All
right. Here we go.
All right, Michael Penix. That's the pick.
Oh, here we go.
Penix Jr. already. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the corners. What's going on with corner right now?
Okay.
Ooh. Both sides of the ball. There you go.
We got TJ Tampa. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I like TJ Tampa.
Rickestraw. Actually, he's a little taller, isn't he? He's 5'11". Okay. Let's see, Tampa.
Can we take a peek at the D tackles?
Yeah, here we go.
Take a peek. Take a peek. Let's see who's there. Oh, the kid out of Clemson. I don't know how to say his name, but I like him. And Leonard Taylor's there. Leonard Taylor is like a project, but he could be a freaking beast one day.
He could.
Let's just take a peek at. Let's take a peek at center. I don't think they would draft center at 37. I think that would be saved for later, or maybe a trade back. But maybe if he loves Zach Frazier that much,
Yeah,
he would think about it. And then I also think there's a small chance if the best linebackers available that they might do that too.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that.
Oof.
Think about that though. You know, like I mean, like when you think about the Ravens, what player do you think about the Ravens like instantly?
It's an important part of this team. And what do you think? Who do you think about when you think about the 49ers defenses back then?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yep.
I think with all the choices that are here and who I would want in this situation, I think that I would take Cooper. Oh, damn. I shouldn't have taken Marvin Harrison. Look at Ladd McConkey made it all the way to the
40.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are going to take him if he falls that far, and that's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Because he's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably either go with Taylor or I would go with Cooper. I think that he's probably going to go with a defensive pick here if they pick a receiver at first, and then hold off and see what they do with the O-line and see who falls. So take Edgerrin. Let's do it. Let's establish this no nonsense middle of the defense. You put this guy in the room with Denzel Perryman to learn, and also just who's coming over the middle at that point.
Yeah. That's a second Swiss Army knife added to that defense in the middle. Yeah. And then you got to even throw, Hensley even out there too. Jayon Henley out there too. Henley. Like, it's awesome. And then Troy Dye, I don't know how he's going to be able to work in this defense too. But that'd be an awesome pick.
Look at my guy still there.
We got a couple trade offers here too. Not good.
Nah.
And then not good. Yeah. All right.
I always hate the trades late rounds. It's like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay. So where do we go now?
I like this because you got Chris Jenkins and Leonard Taylor, which are probably both D tackles on Harbaugh's board close to the top of it. Good thing we took the linebacker last round because my flip would have been to draft Junior here. Yeah. And he went the pick before, so we got kind of lucky there and didn't mess that up. Let's take a look at the centers again.
Okay,
I know it's on his mind. I don't think franchise center. I don't think he is. I think that they're probably gonna be looking at center.
Dang. He's 6'4", dude. Dang,
that's a big old boy.
And then just so we don't make a bonehead mistake, let's just make sure that there's no one of the phenomenal running backs available. I'm pretty sure Benson and Brooks are going to be gone by now.
Okay, so we got Shipley. I like
Corum and Shipley, but I don't like them this high. I think one of the fourths maybe. What's going on with corner now?
DJ James
is scroll a little bit. So Sandstrow's still there, and is Jackson still there too? He's probably still there.
Yeah, Kyrie.
Okay. Okay, and Kalen King is still there.
Yep.
So and our next pick is 105 too. So
so we got a gap here.
Yep.
But we have 2 fourths, right?
Yep.
So
yeah.
And they're like back to back, I think, too.
Yeah, it's like they're like 5 picks away from each other. Yeah.
Sure.
Let's take the center. Let's take the center. Van Braun.
Yeah.
Van Pran Granger.
I don't think there's any chance, Braun Granger. I don't think there's any chance that he makes it any further. I feel like we got a few options at corner. We got a few options still probably at wide receiver, tight end, even tackle. So let's go with this pick here. And like I said, I think that there's a chance that as the year evolves, if this guy can prove he can be the starting center, Bozeman goes to guard, Sawyer goes to right tackle, or maybe something else happens and they sign a right tackle. But
yeah, you bring up a really good point too on that. I think they're going to swizzle the offensive line around a little more too, right? Because I actually like Jamari as a right tackle, right? So they could move him to the right and then move, they could swizzle the entire offensive line, right? You could see some major changes, so for sure. Okay, so you're going to go with Cedric here?
Yeah.
I like it. Good move.
All righty. Okay, pick 105. Here we go.
Oh, who's offering?
Ooh,
Who's
this
calling?
isn't too bad. Well, this isn't
this
terrible.
this gives us 3 4th-round picks.
Actually, that's kind of not bad, dude.
The 165 is a 5th.
I
it'd
think
be a
that's
fifth,
way
yeah.
better.
Should we just take one so we do a trade in this?
It's up to you. Hey, you're the GM,
We're only
dude.
moving
You're-
back
GM.
8 spots here
Yeah,
to get an extra pick. So let's do it. We're only moving back 8 spots. Let's do
Yeah, it's only 8 spots. Yeah, okay. All right, let's do
Yeah,
it.
why not? That's all good.
That's great.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's go back here. Okay, cool. All right.
All right, now
Ooh.
let's
Oh,
go.
he's still
Oh,
there.
dang. He's still available?
The
That's
thing about
crazy.
him that I feel like there's some better blocking tight ends in this that are also really good receivers than Sanders, but this dude is explosive. Like he's freaking crazy. And if he ends up in the right pass first offense, he's going to be a really good tight end in the league. Now let's look at the corners. Let's go back to the corners now.
Okay.
Did Sandstrill survive? Probably not. But if Jackson's there, that's kind of my other guy that I like. In this
Here we
area.
go. Kyrie.
Boom.
Sandstrill did
Hey,
not.
take him.
You want him?
Take him. Yeah,
Kyrie?
take him.
Yeah, I like it.
He is very good. I think he's 6'3" too.
Yeah, he's
And
good.
this is the size.
It's a prototype a lot. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
And now we're right here.
We're right back at it.
113.
right back on the board here.
Yep. 113. So
So we didn't. Oh yeah, that's the extra pick. Sorry.
Yeah.
ooh, we could even go Jatavian Sanders.
Yeah, I was like, we can get.
All right, so let's just make sure we know what we got here. Ooh, let me go back up here.
Let's
Okay.
let's go back to the running backs. Let's take a check at the running backs here.
Running backs. Okay. Estimate.
Scroll.
People like Jalen Wright too.
I like Jalen Wright a lot.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd.
Here, I think we're good. We can wait on running back a little bit longer.
Yeah, because our next pick at 140.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Just peek at my list.
Here, let's just kind of scroll down.
We didn't end up taking an interior defensive lineman, did we?
No.
Nope.
Who's there for that? That's going to be a point of emphasis as well. Oh,
So
McKinley Jackson.
you want to let's just
I don't really know him that well, honestly. What do you guys know about Jackson? You guys know much about Jackson?
I don't.
Yeah, McKinley Jackson. Yeah, I don't have too much on McKinley.
Well, then I'm not going to draft him.
Don't think so.
So tackle.
Yeah, about tackle. Yeah. So far, guys, how's our guest doing on this draft? Give him a rating right now where we stand at the moment. Okay, guys, give us a rating. Then give us a rating at the end as well. So tackle. Let's look at tackle. Here we go. Oh, Fisher.
Oh, I kind of like Fisher.
Or then Delmar Glaze. Remember him? Keep talking about him.
Yeah. That's
Like
a
a glazed
glaze for a
donut.
ham, I believe, right?
Yeah, big old dude. He's guy's big, bro.
Jeez.
Woo!
Yeah, let's take the tackle then. I think it's pretty unrealistic to get this
Whoa!
far without taking a tackle.
6'5", dude. Woo!
Yo,
We're here in the this is the 4th round. Yeah, this is a good spot to
That's a really
add
good
some
spot.
depth at that spot and potentially set yourself up in the future. In this situation, we did not draft a tackle, so we are talking about moving people around and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Maybe add one more guy to be in that conversation, and also let's get Trey Pipkins off the team. No offense, buddy. But
Pipkins ain't easy, dude. Pipkins ain't easy. So who are we
I'm
thinking?
sorry, guys, I don't know enough about the D tackle. I think a D tackle would be good here, but I don't want to take someone I don't know. Who
You
they
know,
are.
I was just actually
Oh, good.
looking at McKinley too. He's 6'1", 326, like an 80-inch wingspan, 10-inch hands. I mean, they're basically saying he's like, he's butt and gut up the middle. He's like a true nose tackle guy. Like, go back to the years of when we had a true nose tackle for once.
Yeah.
Like,
If he's a fit, then let's take him. If he's a fit,
Hey,
let's take him.
I like the idea of building the lines either which way. So tackle or basically a D tackle. Like,
I think they could double up at corner here too. I just don't think Josh Newton would be the double up.
Sure.
Yeah.
It'll be someone else, maybe later.
Right.
So I'm on either Glaze or McKinley, but maybe go
All right.
with McKinley. So that way we
What are you thinking?
stay
McKinley?
consistent. Yeah, because I took a center with the idea of moving Sawyer, so I'm gonna
True.
stick to it.
Okay, got it.
So
Okay,
McKinley,
let's go McKinley.
what happens. I want to see what running backs are here now in the 5th.
Yeah. Oh, we got a good one right there.
Oh,
I see some good players, running backs available already. That a
Perfect.
lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
like.
Take Jalen Wright right there. Boom.
so we're
or
sticking
Mark.
and picking. We're sticking and picking.
I think I would take Jalen. Let's take Jalen Wright. I like Marshawn Lloyd, but I think that there's a little bit of a tier gap once Wright goes. And I think that this guy is a true potential, put him in there and he's going to be an RB1 one day, especially if you give him some time to grow in the running room, like a J.K. Dobbins signing. Gus Edwards is out there. I think that he could grow and even become better for future years. And I'm pretty confident that he's leaving this draft with the franchise running back of the future and the franchise middle linebacker of the future.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Jalen
Absolutely.
Wright has got
I'm more
wheels
confident
too.
in that than them drafting receivers like everyone wants them to.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Again, guys, we're going to run the ball. And the whole point of that offense is that if you got a lead, you can protect it with a good running back. You get a stable of horses. Just run that ball. Okay, so Jalen Wright, we're going to go with him.
Let's do it. Frank Gore of the future.
Go.
I would love to have gotten Frank Gore Jr., but
All right, 165 is
Frank Gore Jr. has been like a guy that like I don't see a lot of people drafting him, or like it's like very late rounds.
yeah, he could be a guy that they just add to the roster and see what happens type situation. A lot of guys like the lesser known kid out of Louisville. This is
okay. So let's just do a real quick recap. We got Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker, center, cornerback, defensive tackle, and a running back.
I love it.
Going pretty well.
Yeah, actually, I feel pretty good about this, dude. I feel pretty good about this. And again, you bring up a good point, right? Even trading back, in the hundreds like that's an easy trade back idea because you get another pick out of it. Good point. Good job.
Especially when you're trying to grab guys that are very specific. It's always good to have extra picks in case it's like, oh crap, they're going to draft him. Let's trade right now and get ahead of them. Similarly to how they got Isaiah Spiller, Tom Telesco.
Yeah. Jeez.
All
right, so what are we thinking here? So we got
no, it was the Raiders that traded. They traded in front of us to get Zeus.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Right after.
Did pretty much nothing with him.
Let's take a peek back at the corners here.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it really would be a good idea for the team to get 2 corners in this draft as well.
Yep. I like Brownlee or Prince. Now, what about let's go look at tight ends again here. I don't think they need to draft tight end. That's why I think they'll wait. But I think there's a few guys that Harbaugh probably wants really bad.
Yeah.
But
you can probably get this guy later on too.
Get him later. So, what is the projection on Senate Senat?
I think he's gone already. Probably.
Penn State?
Yeah, Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah.
I think he was like in like a 4th round, I believe. 4th or 3rd round.
Yeah.
I watched him. I was like, this guy just screams Harbaugh to me. He's
awesome.
A freaking
monster.
And then
Cade
Stovers, when you watch him, is so clunky. Like, he's probably not going to be a great pro, but I just want that guy at practice because this motherfucker is a dog.
No. We got to get Mason P-line. He's like the
monster.
That
guy's
corn-fed killer right there. Like
dude. The thing is, though, that's great about Pline, though, is that he's a guy that converted from basketball to football. Like, look, Antonio Gates worked out really well. Tony Gonzalez worked out real well for him. Like, those are great. I mean, he's once again, that's a back end type draft pick, but I'm a big fan of him. I'm going to keep an eye on that guy.
Yeah, another guy that's kind of he's a basketball convert, and he's like a good blocker, great, like amazing receiver, crazy good hands for being a basketball player. Is Jared Wiley. TCU. Has some familiarity with the TCU players we already have.
And I believe the Chargers just met with him too.
Oh, really?
Yep. They just met with him this week.
Yep.
6'6", 249, runs a 4.62 40.
Yeah.
Captain for TCU. It'd be weird to be able to dip right back into TCU once again. 3 guys that we drafted from TCU will go right back in that pool again.
You love to see tight ends that stick the ball, man. A lot of tight ends don't do that. They let it come into their body and catch it. He sticks his hands out and catches the ball.
Hands out.
Like a receiver. Let's go with the top corner that was available.
Top corner. Okay. So we got
2 that I liked.
Okay.
Let's double up at corner. I feel like this is a position they're definitely going to draft multiple players at. Let's take Brownlee.
Brownlee. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm good with that.
Okay. This is 181. Okay, here we go.
Who is there any like project guys there at edge? Is there any project guys there at D
So
tackle?
the one guy on edge that I would say might be here, he is not here.
Oh boy,
He's gone now. The guy from Utah, drawing a blank on his name. He had like a major knee injury, so but he's pretty gnarly, pretty good player. I don't see him. He's gone already.
Chargers did meet with Savion Jackson, North Carolina State, D-line, DN, 6'2", 290 kind of guy. Did have injury issues for 2 years, 21 and 22, but did play pretty well. I mean, that's just another name to throw out there that the Chargers did meet with. So not sure. I mean, he's kind of a late third, day 3 type pick kind of guy.
Mark saying tight ends. I agree with him. I think we're getting a tight end with some of these later picks. I don't know who it's going to be. There's a couple options, but I think we should probably take the Michigan cat.
We
might be able to wait a little longer though. He's going to go in the 200 somewhere.
Yeah, we could probably wait on him, I suppose.
So what position should I draft here? Another receiver? Maybe.
Look around. Look at the offense. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, right there. That's a perfect slot receiver right there. Jaquan Jackson could be a slot receiver for when they do have to come out in a little bit more heavier packages. But the only thing is I don't want them to draft him. This guy's fast as hell. Like
Jaquan Jackson.
But only reason I don't want them to draft him is because I'm such a big Darius Davis fan. I just don't think Darius has the size to really be a true slot receiver right now. This guy does. He's not like he's 5'9" also, but he's a little bit more built for this. And it's just like he's just constantly just blasting away from anyone that tries to run with them. I like him a lot. And in this spot, you're just adding speed. You're adding a play action threat. You're adding a punt returner, or we don't need a punt returner, but you're adding just more speed to the offense.
Yeah. Well, if hey, that's actually not a bad idea because what if Darius Davis gets hurt, right? So I mean, heaven forbid that happen. You need somebody to step up.
6th round pick.
This is we're 181, right? So
take him, and then let's look at the tight end here at the end with the 7th.
Okay, so we want to go with the wide receiver.
Yeah, let's go with Jackson. I like Jackson.
All right,
a lot.
Sounds good.
He's good. The punt return game is going to be an interesting one with the new rule changes too. So.
I was going to say that linebackers are probably going to be more important too, and also tight ends. You got to remember, it's you're going to probably see more of a fast type of formation, right? So some of those big skill players are going to be used a lot more for that.
I just forgot about someone that I like better than Jackson is search Horton or Torrey Horton,
wide receiver.
We're not drafting him now. I just want to see if he's still here at this point in the draft. Yep. That's Tyron. Somebody.
You type his name in there, search to see if he's there.
This kid is super. I think he's a hidden gem.
Search bar right
he
there.
played at Colorado State and he went off on Deion Sanders' defense. Yeah, he's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Went off on him. All right, let's do the tight end now. Let's go with AJ Barner if he's still there.
Okay.
Another
Barner's gone. So Isaac Rex is pretty good, but he's had a lot of injury issues. He was the guy at BYU, but he's had some issues. Yeah.
Oh, I kind of like Westover a little bit. He's kind of like a poor man's Sinnott, who's a poor man's Brock Bowers.
Right.
Yeah. Discount Bowers. All right.
Let's take the T-Rex. I don't know anything about him.
Nice. I like that.
If he's got your stamp of approval, he's got my stamp of approval, and his name's T-Rex.
He's pretty good. Oh, Isaac Rex.
Yeah, he's 6'5".
Ooh.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Do you remember James? He like snapped his ankle, like literally rolled the whole damn thing over. Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, it was
pointed
bad.
the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, it was like ripped and spun, and it was horrible. Yeah. So we're gonna go with him. All right.
Yeah,
T-Rex.
I'm not a gas here.
He's more of like a Travis Kelce type of guy, but the injuries are a concern. That's why he's slipping.
Got it.
All right, we're at the end here.
Okay, last pick. This would be the Mr. Irrelevant, right? But we'll see what we got here.
Let's do a review here. My picks.
Okay.
Let's just check what we got already. We got multiple wide receivers.
Yep.
The linebacker. I think another linebacker might be down the pipe here. I also think they're going to take an edge rusher somewhere in here.
Yeah.
But
actually, I like that idea. Yep.
Project guy that Harbaugh can mold while he sits behind Bosa and Mac for a couple of years.
Right.
But I don't know anyone back here. Does Jordan have any relation to the current the kid that was with the Giants recently? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know.
Linebackers maybe.
Okay.
We are thin. That is a position that we are really thin at.
Very, very thin.
Yeah.
Don't know any of these guys either.
Hopefully we'll get
Nathaniel
listed along
Watson.
our
We
day
did
on,
meet
though.
with him. We
He's
did
a
meet
cool
with
guy.
Nathaniel Watson. Linebacker
Nathaniel
guy,
Watson?
good special team guy too.
That'd be perfect. Let's take him. Let's take Watson so we can wrap this up.
Okay.
Watson.
Nathaniel Watson.
All right.
All right.
Yo.
Oh, here we go. So these are the picks. Let's review. Okay, guys. In the chat, what would you rate? What would you rate NFL Mike's draft here, guys?
By the way, my first mock draft of the year.
Oh,
let's go.
Down, dude. I've done
Exclusive
for the guy. I've
Yeah.
done like 400, dude. I've done like 400. It's bad, dude. It's bad. Like,
Yeah,
when I'm like busy late at night, I'm just like, I'm just gonna do a mock draft real quick.
Ka-chow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the way this looks, especially,
Yeah.
all the way till around the Jalen Wright pick. Things are going to get a little bit wild cardy from there. Harbaugh's going to pick his guys that he thinks he can turn into gems that he can get with these late round picks. And that's something that we really need. The Chargers, everyone always says that Tom Telesco is this great drafter and all that, especially Raiders fans now that he's on their side. They've turned from, oh my gosh, what a terrible franchise. You gave up 63 points. And then when I asked them who drafted all the players that gave up 63 points, crickets. I got nothing else to say. So just like Tom Telesco's draft picks that he always gets praised for is Justin Herbert at 7, kind of like forced to pick him. Joey Bosa, no brainer. Derwin James at 17. I mean, I would have picked all those players too, and I don't get paid anything.
Yeah.
So, I don't think he's this crazy good drafter because when you look at the middle round picks, when you look at the times that he's traded up for his guy, Kenneth Murray, or he's traded up for people or drafted running backs in the first round multiple times, it's just not been successful sometimes. Like, I don't look at Melvin Gordon as a successful draft pick, and that should have been when the Charger organization already started to kind of watch Tom Telesco a little bit. But
Mark, scroll down a little bit on the draft too. Because I know we're only seeing 6 of the picks right now. It's 2.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. There we go. Here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like this would address most of the Chargers' needs.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit high for center, but and they might not be even looking at center. If Bozeman is the locked-in starter and they don't really feel like they need that spot, they're gonna wait until later in the draft to get a center, and they're gonna draft, a corner or maybe another linebacker or somebody that's gonna bring some physicality.
Yep. Well, and the big part of it is too, like, and when I chatted a little bit about the Ravens and Joe Ortiz being over there and their hit rate of getting Pro Bowl players, like, I've done a lot of emphasis of like the guys that we've met with the Chargers, and there's a lot of back end type draft kind of prospect dudes that we've met with. These later rounds are really going to be the ones that are the big gap fillers for this team, and potentially could be those guys that really step up for this team and end up surprising everybody in camp and being the CB1 or for us, or a RB1 or a wide receiver 1 for us, or tight end number 1 or something like that. Maybe Isaac Rex is going to be that dude for us. I think it's just interesting how the Ravens have always found really good gems late in the draft. And that's one thing I really enjoy seeing these guys that we're meeting with for the Chargers, that we're finding these really good gems for our team that really end up being a long-term prospect for us. So it's awesome. It's awesome. And I love that the idea that you went with 2 cornerbacks, because we definitely need that. I mean, somebody said in the chat too, maybe 2 running backs is what we got to look at too. I mean, is Dotson going to be that extra guy? Is Spiller even going to be? Who is Spiller? I mean, will the real Spiller step up? I don't know. I don't know who he is yet. So, but it's a good draft. I think it's a good draft. It's solid.
I think there's a slight argument that our Harbaugh even has more of an advantage. It might be even better than their Harbaugh.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Let's go. I'm ready for it. I want to get a draft class where they hit 5 of the 7 picks for once. Damn it.
Please.
That'd be nice. Yeah, and I think it just goes back to the philosophy of what Telesco always said was, well, we'll draft them and then we'll just sort of work them into the system. I'm like, what's the point of that? Because what you're doing is paying for veterans, and then they're sitting behind veterans. You're overpaying veterans, and then if they start going down, then the rookies get a little bit of playing time.
Yeah.
And then by the time their contract's over, they're like, sorry, we didn't see much from you. And I'm like, well, you didn't play me. So, you're not playing your players. And I think that's really where, I think this whole group is going to be acting very different. Now, we're drafting this person to get them to play. Best available player.
And unfortunately, I think that there's been a lot of situations where Tom Telesco's drafted someone with a 3rd round pick or a 2nd round pick or whatever, and they've kept him off the field because they saw at practice he's about to get embarrassed.
Yep.
And that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to protect their jobs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, in Tom Telesco, late rounds wise, he's only drafted 3 Pro Bowl players after the 1st round. And the Ravens have had hit rates almost every single year of getting Pro Bowl players after the 2nd round and even in the late rounds too. So Tom Telesco had such an interesting philosophy of his drafts, and it was just mind numbing. You're going to see it with the Raiders. They're going to do these. Hey, this is a great project at pick. I think they're 13 or 12 or something like that. It's going to be some project, dude. Watch. It's going to be some guy that they're just going to reach on, and you're like, oh gosh.
Yeah, good for you.
Enjoy it, Raiders. Enjoy it.
He actually was one of the worst drafters of all the GMs. I think he was ranked like 28th out of all the GMs. As far as his draft rating, hit rate.
Yep.
Well, I've got a good twist coming in one of my newest posts that I'm working on and working on the script right now, where I compare the Raiders draft history to the Chargers draft history. And we're probably going to lose this comparison, but win by proxy,
Yeah.
I always bait them, like, give me the comments so that way I can freaking drop it on you that you're now the Chargers draft strategy.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So this is a question for you, NFL Mike from Grandizer. Is there a day 3 prospect, say 6th or 7th, that you're pounding the table for the Chargers to draft?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about him earlier. My guy in that range is probably going to go higher than that, apparently, in the mock draft. I thought that he was going to be in like the 5th, 6th round is Jared Wiley, but I think he's going to move up. I do. It's just he's too complete. The reason that he's not looked at as one of the best tight ends in this class just because he didn't play as much as some of these other guys. He's, transferred to football from basketball when he went to college, and there is some concerns. He's really, really thin. But I think if you get him in Harbaugh's weight room, he ain't going to be thin for very long.
No,
He's foot freaking 6, and he's running like a receiver out there, but you could put him inside. I mean, just imagine Donald Parham with wheels. That would be great.
Right?
Love it.
Like that.
Some better lower body ligaments, so that way he doesn't get hurt anymore.
Lower body ligaments.
It's like the Raiders' attitude is like, we don't care. As long as you're a baller, you can, load up your whole duffel bag full of guns and fly here, and we'll sign you still. This is Jack Jones, by the way. It's a real story. It's a real story.
Oh, my God.
And now they got Telesco, who will not even draft the guy that got a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, guys, I know we're about an hour and 40 minutes. We always like to get long on this. Guys, time flies when you're having fun. So, again, NFL Mike, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, just search up NFL Mike real quick, guys. Go to your favorite platform, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTokies, Facebook, even Twitter. Don't post on Twitter as much as I should, but all platforms, your favorite platform. Look up NFL Mike. You'll find me. I'm working on a bunch of projects right now, so stay tuned, everybody. We're gonna. This isn't this T-shirt company or see, I just slipped the secret project. This T-shirt stuff is not just staying on me. So please go follow me.
I like it.
Right.
I like it.
Sounds
like
good.
Love it.
Well, we can wrap up with our final thoughts. I'm just going to say this. I'm excited. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a good season. Different brand of football, folks. You got to remember that. We are playing a different brand of football. And as much as we want to talk about certain players, when we talk about Marvin Harrison, neighbors, all this and that, I think Matt Money Smith said it perfectly, and I didn't say it earlier, is that it really boils down to what our draft board rankings are for these players, right? If maybe look, Jim Harbaugh saw Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot, right? So he may say, if that guy's available, I don't give a shit. We have to stick and pick.
Yep.
Who knows? Does he really feel that way or does he not feel that way, right? So it's really, and I think our board's going to look very differently than other people's boards, right? Because we're going to be going after physicality. We're going to be going after a specific mindset. So I think it's going to be a little different. That's going to be my general take on the draft, but it's exciting, folks. And we are going live on the draft as well, folks. So NFL Mike, if you want, you can come on with us. We can figure some stuff out, but we are live for the draft. So stay tuned.
All right.
Kyle, you want to do your thoughts?
You know, there's
I don't know if the
you
purge is about to happen or something.
Yeah, the purge. Somebody get killed
on here.
Somebody get killed.
you know, I mean, that's just it. Like, I'm just saying is that, like, look, man, just like Jim Harbaugh said, we are the storm. You know, like, I mean, it's a whole different thing. Like, I'm really excited about like how we are gonna be changing this team, changing this culture. Charging is no longer gonna be a negative connotation. It's gonna be a positive thing, and we're gonna just like freaking all gas, no brakes, keep our foot on your throat, and just shove it down. You know, pound for pound. You know, I don't know, man. I couldn't. My brain was going. That was pretty good, actually. I thought,
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, it's a whole different brand of football. You know, like that's kind of what we're planning on seeing, and like that's like it's exciting. You know, like I mean, not only that, but you know, like what the Chargers are doing with the community. You know, like opening it up to the draft parties and sponsoring all these different events. Some in San Diego and like in all because I've been talking with a lot of the clubs and like they're the ones putting on these events, and then the Chargers are sponsoring it. Some of them players are even going to be there, so because they're going to send players to go hang out and you know be with the draft and kind of talking to people. So it's going to be, dude, this is a really exciting time for the team, and like I can't wait for the draft to see what we do. And those are my thoughts.
Yeah, you know, it's and we're gonna let NFL Mike end this one out because he's a brother from another mother. So
Right. I'm
let's do
seeing
that. I'll give
Byron.
you my-
I'm seeing our cousin Byron right now. Every time I
Cousin
look at
Byron over here.
what's up, Byron? What's up, Byron? Joe Byron.
But
that's my next T-shirt. It's gonna say Bolt Cousin right here. In the
I like that.
But as far as my
Man,
thoughts on the draft going into it, I just think that the priority is going to be, like you said, protecting our gem, Justin Herbert. And that's not just through offensive line. It's obviously through offensive line. That's also through getting a rushing attack by, you know, going after a running back at some point in this draft, maybe even later than I took the running back, but they have guys circled and they're going to be picking a running back, I think, in that range. And then also, like we've all been saying, they need people from to go to when teams do catch us and they blitz. So you're going to need that receiver that has that clean release that's going to get off the line at X and get open right away and be available for Herbert. So regardless of how it goes, this draft is loaded with talent and there's starters available deep into the draft. Very excited to see what they do. Very excited to see who's going to be the Chargers linebacker alongside Denzel Perryman. It's just, they're going to be going nastiness and protecting Herbert. That's the two goals of this draft.
love it.
100.
I literally will just say ditto to everybody here, but I also say thank you, Chargers, for doing what you're doing already, you know, and reaching out to communities, reaching out to the fans. That's awesome. And that's very, very cool to see what they're doing. I mean, Harbaugh is creating something so much different right now about expanding the fan base, expanding the universe of the Chargers. And it's going to be exciting all around, guys. And I love that it's April. We're very, very close to draft season, but I do literally count the weeks until the season starts. Like thinking like June, okay, the new facility is going to open up. July, training camp's happening. August is when like preseason's happening, even though I don't really care too much for preseason. But guess what? I will watch it, and I'm looking forward to it. So I am counting the days down, but once again, the draft is coming up. Schedule release is coming up soon too.
That's true.
That's going to be fun to watch out. Maybe it's going to be another anime one, whatnot. But I'm excited about what's going on here, and I can't wait for the draft, guys. So I think next week we should probably pretty much focus that on 100% players that we've met with and 100% just talked about draft because we're leading right into it next week.
100%.
Send us to Vegas, Roger. Send us to Vegas week 1. That's what I want.
Let's go. Let's go.
Monkey punch them Ray turds.
Oh, how awesome would that be? Let's go.
Flip that number. Yep. Flip the score from last year. That'd be dope.
Just hoe slap them.
Ooh,
Host
that's
slap.
great.
No, it's just brewing in everyone's hearts, man. They
Yeah.
love that.
Just crush them.
Yep.
Crush them.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we're the Boat Bros and NFL Mike, brother from another mother. Thank you for joining, guys. As always, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bolt Bros.
Bolt Bros.
Let's go.
Let's
And
go.
cousin, let's go.
Oh, cousin.